morning, beloveds. I am having technical challenges this morning, meaning as I knocked the camera over, it started the live video. Such is life, right? It is Wednesday. It is November 4th. Our title today is Peace, and our Bible quote is, "Peace be both to thee, and peace be thine to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast." And this is from 1 Samuel 25:6. And I'm going to read that again because what? "Peace be to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast." Okay. I did it better the second time. All right. Philip Brooks said that peace is the entire harmony between the nature of anything and its circumference. House is a symbol of the physical body, and of that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. House is a symbol of any of the vehicles, bodies, or habitations of the soul on any and all planes. The Bible speaks of the house of bondage and the house of freedom. Symbolically, it tells us that we must come out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, that we must be led by the divine Spirit into the true home, which is heaven. Jesus said that in my Father's house there are many mansions. Today, I permit my mental house to be at peace. I know that my true home is in heaven and that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Today, I enter into this permanent home. I consciously move in and make my dwelling place in this house of peace and gladness. Okay, and then the quote from the Science of Mind is, "We cannot be in peace until we know that the Spirit is the only cause, medium, and effect in our lives. There is no past, present, or future to it." And that is from the Science of Mind, page 264. And I'm going to freely admit, I have no idea what I just read. I really, honestly, I don't. So, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to apply logic and my schooling to what I just read. Although, if you want to know why I'm struggling, let me show you why. That's Rita. She is standing in my lap, so she probably is just below where you can see her, which is why you keep seeing the book. So, and she's purring madly. All right. So, the title is Peace, and the Bible quote, Samuel is one of the prophets. I'm not familiar enough with Samuel to even go there. But peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. So this is one of those times when I wish, and I've got to remember to ask Lilia, because she says she has a copy of the Bible. I believe it's called The Message, and it's what they have done is they have taken the Bible and translated the Bible into modern language, like the language as we would say. I'm old enough to be a grandmother. I'm not, but I'm old enough to be a grandmother. To the language that the kids use, because this would be one that I would be curious to know what, and it's also one where I would like to see the context of this. It does remind me of that part in the Catholic service where we turn and say, "Peace be with you." So, and I have no idea who Philip Brooks is. Might be interesting to Google Philip Brooks. But he's using quotes. So, in quotes, peace is that entire harmony between the nature of anything and its circumference. I have a double minor in math, and I'm not entirely sure what Philip Brooks is talking about. Peace is the entire harmony between the nature of anything and its circumference. Oh, well, I have an idea. Try this on for size. The nature of anything and what it's surrounded by. Because the circumference is the outer of a circle. So what are you bordered by? You have your nature, and then what are you surrounded by? And if what you're surrounded by doesn't support your nature, then why are you there? Okay. Now, house is a symbol of the physical body and this next part is in quotes, that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. So that's a quote, most likely from the Bible. House is a symbol of the physical body and of that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. House is a symbol of any of the vehicles, bodies, or habitations of the soul. So basically, he's making a point that when he's talking about the house, he is talking about your mortal carriage of your soul. Your soul, but the problem is that your soul isn't exactly your soul. Your soul is an individualized center from the soul, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. The part of you that goes on, the part of you that is eternal. And so this is the house that is carrying your part of the soul, the part that is you. Okay, because he goes on to say, he has vehicles, bodies, and habitations of the soul in quotes. Maybe that's from Philip Brooks. It's like at this point now we all want to go look up Philip Brooks. Who the heck is Philip Brooks? I have never heard of him. But I want to know now. All right. So the Bible speaks, the Bible speaks of the house of bondage and the house of freedom. Symbolically, it tells us that we must come out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Which, that's Exodus. That I know. That's Exodus. That we must be led by the divine spirit into the true home, which is heaven. So, at which point then we have to ask ourselves, so this is not the first time Ernest has mentioned heaven. Ernest has talked about heaven a whole lot this year. And where does he say heaven is? Heaven is right here all around us. Heaven is a state of consciousness. So the house of bondage and the house of freedom are exactly in the same place. It's a shift in consciousness. And it is a shift in consciousness that the divine spirit, I was trying to figure out what word he'd use, can lead us through. So if we are stuck in the house of bondage, then we literally have to change our minds and open our consciousness to being willing to see the house of freedom or heaven around us. And don't get me wrong, there are times it's not easy. There are times that it's pretty bleeding. Like, pardon me while I let my English show. Sometimes it's bloody hard. It's bloody hard to look around and go, okay. And that doesn't let us out of the work that needs to be done. If I walk into the house of freedom, I only get to stay in the house of freedom if I help my brothers and sisters to find the house of freedom. Because if my brothers and sisters aren't free, then neither am I. It honestly, this one's not easy. Now, come back next year on November 4th, and I'll have a completely different idea because I will have had another year of experience. And I will have gone and looked up who Philip Brooks is. Jesus said that my Father's house has many mansions. I know Reverend Jesse has talked about that. And it really is a state of mind. It is about going to that place that nothing has ever been wrong. And standing in that place, allowing that place to fill us, and then coming back here and doing the work. It's about finding the calm and the peace in that place and then bringing it back here into the noise of the world so that we can be those islands of calm, we can be those islands of peace, so that we can be that safe place for people. Are you a safe place for all people? When people come into your sphere of influence, are you a safe place? Are you a calm place? And if you are not, what is it that you need? Because you're allowed to have needs. Maslow, in Maslow's ladder says, once your basic needs are met, then you can focus on your higher needs, the needs, the intellectual and the spiritual. But your basic needs have to be met. So if you are not that island of calm, then what is it that you need? And what steps can we, and I use the word we, take to help you meet those needs? Do you have basic physical needs? Okay. And then once you get your basic physical needs met, then what intellectual needs do you have? What spiritual needs do you have? And then what can we do? Because a house isn't made of one wall. A community isn't made of one person. A community is. So what can we do to help you meet your needs? Which is what this is. This right here. This is my way of meeting one of my needs to do this, to explore this. But it also hopefully will help you. I have never said, and hopefully I will never say, I have the answers. But what I like to tell people is, I don't have your answers. I have my answers. But what I can hopefully help you do is find the questions that will help you find your answers. Because your answers are right there in you. But sometimes we're asking the wrong questions. So, all right. I don't know what to think now. So today I permit my mental house to be at peace. Today I know that my true home is in heaven and that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's about the consciousness shift. To open my eyes and recognize that the kingdom of heaven is around me now. And it's my job to recognize it. And as I recognize it for myself, so too can I recognize it for the people around me. And I can be that island of calm, and I can be that kingdom of heaven. And if I can find my kingdom of heaven, then you can find your kingdom of heaven. Today I enter into this permanent house, because the house of bondage is not permanent. It's built on sand. I consciously move in and make my dwelling in this house of peace and gladness. And that right there's the kicker. I consciously move in. There's nothing that we can do unconsciously. No, there's a lot that we do unconsciously. But if we really want to make changes in our lives and changes in this world, then we have to do it consciously. It is the unconscious nonsense that has gotten us where we are. All right. So, from the Science of Mind textbook, we cannot be in peace until we know that the Spirit is the only cause, medium, and effect in our lives. Basically, until we recognize that Spirit is all there is. That everything and everyone around us is Spirit. we are going to continue to suffer, as the Buddhists say. Attachment. There is no past, no present, and no future in it. And that is a capital I-T. Spirit is not bound by time. Thank God, spirit is not bound by time. Because that means that the core of us, the center of our being, the individualized center of the soul that we are, is not bound by time. That we can do this because we literally have no time and all of the time. So, our mission today, and I choose to accept it, is to permit my mental house to be at peace. As Elsa says, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to recognize that spirit is all around me. I'm going to look in the godling's eyes around me and see God looking back at me. And I'm going to go look in that mirror and I'm going to see God looking back at me. And I'm going to remember that we are beloved children of spirit, in whom spirit is well pleased, and that there is nothing that we can do to change that, now and forever. Ugh. All right. It is going to be a beautiful day here in Houston. So I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. And that includes turning off the news. It includes turning off the news. So, if you need to, please do. Or if you're like my husband, a history major, and want to sit there and watch the news, go for it. I'm an anthropologist, I'm not going to deal with this for 100 years. So, do something to engage your mind and body today. Do something that reminds you that you live in heaven right now. And that you always have and always will. And it is Wednesday. So if you are so inclined, they are doing a book study on the living of science of mind today. I believe that's at 6 p.m. It's a Zoom, so check your emails. And that is led by two of our practitioners, Shirley Sandlin and Monty, and they're good. Shirley and I went to practitioner school through practitioner classes together. She's an amazing lady, and Monty's really good because Monty's like he's very logical and on the point, and he's gonna ask the questions. So, if you need some more of this, check your emails, get that Zoom link, join them. Reverend David will be on with you around 5. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to come in. Allow that breath of heaven to wash all of the dark places clean. Allow that breath of heaven to bring the light in to all of the places that need it. And know that you are loved. All right, beloveds, do what you need to make it a wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow.